guys and gals, never here from Drake Wing Gaming, something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Tennis Ace. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. We're doing Shoichi's path. That one right there. Okay, let's do it, y'all. Please don't try to imitate a bard's flowery speech now. Mimicry? How dareth thee slander this humble minstrel with thine foul eyes? I swear to God, I'm gonna ditch you. Also, I'm half convinced most of the stuff you're speaking is gibberish. Could be. I don't really know. Hell, I'm not even sure what I'm saying. You're a dork. Sure am. Shoichi leans closer to me, putting a hand on my shoulder and whispering into my ear, it's free real estate. But I'm your dork, so you should get used to it. I see. We're gonna start with the next class. Will people please enter the room as I call out your names? Once we're inside, I get a good look at the kitchen. I think the only time I'd been here before was when class rep borrowed the place so she could prepare her nasty concoctions during her pitch for the festival. All the pans are shiny and neatly stacked. Every kitchen island has a supply of fresh produce, meats, and all other kinds of products required to cook. I'm surprised just how neat and organized this place is, considering they apparently been hosting multiple cooking classes a day. Whoever their president is, they must run a pretty tight ship, so to speak. Alright, I want every pair to man an island. Every island is fully equipped with an oven, gas burners, and enough counter space for the duo to work on. Instructor, a busty deer. Oh, a busty deer with a pair of round pink framed glasses is wearing a lace. Jesus, stands in front of the class. Okay. Can we get a picture of her, please? Her own counter is flipped from ours so she can access all its features while looking at us. The lesson will last for 3 hours. During this time, you guys will learn to prepare a 3-course meal. Here are the dishes we'll teach you all to make. She wastes no time in beginning her explanation. Grabbing her chef's knife, she pulls out a whole chicken and begins to carve it as she speaks. First, we will work on our chicken. We will extract from it all the meat we'll need for our appetizer and our entree. Gripping your knife like this, you'll make an incision here, and for what it's worth, she's very thorough in her explanation. She points out a few sheets on each of the counters containing the recipes we'll be preparing today. Shoichi and I both put on a couple aprons that were provided to us by the cooking club. Both are white aprons, very plain, too. They don't have any flower patterns like the instructors. Hey, you look pretty cute with that. Thanks. How about you get started on that chicken? Me? Alright then. I leave Shoichi with the task of carving the meat, mostly because I'll work on the other stuff in the meantime, and I doubt he can screw up carving a chicken carcass. Let's see. Wow, these dishes sound fancy. Yeah? What are we gonna prepare? Let's focus on the appetizer first. Wild mushroom and chicken breast ragu served on top of an Italian bread toast. That sounds good. Ragu? What's that? Actually, that sounds kind of similar to what my girl's going to be making today. She's making some kind of pasta with like a garlic cheesy bread. Oh, I'm so hungry. I've never made it before, so I'm going to be going into this blind too. It's supposed to be a really thick sauce that's usually paired up with pasta or bread. That sounds pretty nice. Oh, wait, according to the instructions, we're going to have to make fresh pasta dough for the entree. Since that will need a few minutes to rest, I suppose I should get to it first. It means I'll have to leave Shoichi to do a bunch of stuff while I prepare the dough. Okay, I'll leave you to carve the chicken and slice the mushrooms and vegetables. Just make sure you stick to the recipe, okay? No fun little additions. I was already thinking of ways I could spice this up and improve it. Let's just stick to the recipes, okay? Besides, the ingredients we're provided are measured for these exact recipes. If you try to change them, then something will have to go without. That's a fair point. I wouldn't want to ruin one recipe to make another one better. I think you mean you'd ruin 2 recipes. I'll get to work on the pasta dough. Be careful with that knife. No problem. Have you ever made pasta dough before, by the way? Not really. This will be a first time for me, too. Don't try to screw it up. I don't want to hear that from you. Let's see, I need to measure out the ingredients here. It seems pretty simple. 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of semolina flour, and 2 eggs. Pretty basic. I'm surprised it doesn't call for any salt in the dough. I guess that's because it'll already absorb salt while cooking in the water. By the way, what's the pasta dough for? Are you gonna make spaghetti? No, the entree is supposed to be chicken alfredo with squash ravioli. Man, forming these is gonna be a chore. Chicken alfredo with squash? We're just gonna be preparing Western foods? I thought we do Japanese stuff. I don't think people would pay for a masterclass where they learn to cook stuff they already eat at home every day. Fair point. I make a flour well inside the bowl and pour the 2 mixed eggs in the center, just like the recipe says. I don't think I've kneaded dough of any kind before, so I'm a bit wary of dunking my hands in there. I start off by mixing it with a wooden spoon until it forms a shaggy dough. When it gets too hard to keep mixing in like this, I give up and decide to go by hand. The feeling of it sticking to my fingers is certainly, well, weird. The instructor goes over everyone's counters, checking up on their progress and giving them tips on what to do. That's good. Don't be afraid to really get in there. Don't use your fingers so much. Use the bottom part of your palm to gently push the dough down and away from you. Yeah, like that. It's actually much harder to knead it than I thought it would be. It's not super difficult or anything, but for something made out of just flour and eggs, I expect it to be soft like putty. I'm gonna get started on the mushrooms now. You've already carved the chicken? It didn't take that long. It mostly came apart on its own. I look over at his station to check on his progress, and and instead of getting clean pieces of meat out of it, he completely mangled and shredded the chicken. There are even a few pieces of bone that's still protruding from the meat. Did you even pay any attention to her explanation? Look at your chicken. It looks nothing like hers. I wish that this man would come across one guy, or someone, just someone in general, who does not give a shit about tact and is just fucking blunt. And they just tell him to his face, wow, why is your cooking so shit? Make this man come to terms with his weakness. I mean, I didn't see the point in spending so much time to get nice looking pieces, and we're gonna shred them anyway to use in the dishes. The point is that you're supposed to be learning a skill here. Man, that's overrated. How often am I gonna be carving a chicken in real life anyway? Why did you ask me to come here with you if you have no intent to do things right? By the way, what's the difference between a wild mushroom and a regular mushroom? I wonder. I see he's obviously not even a bit interested in actually learning stuff. What if I told a really ridiculous lie about it? Would he buy it? Tell a lie. Maybe. Oh, they're a special type of mushroom when ingested make your hormones go all wild. They're said to be a great aphrodisiac and also boost energy levels. Wow, really? So they used to make those market aphrodisiacs? Oh yeah, the mushrooms are processed in factories and turned into liquid extracts. They add some of it into energy drinks too. That's why they're so good at keeping you energized. Oh, wow, wait. I think that's why I always get a bit excited after my games? Because of the mushrooms? Could be. Some people are more susceptible to the effects than others. And since your heart is running really fast for a long time during those, the chemicals might travel your body much easier. Oh wow, now it all makes sense. Oh my god, I can't believe he's buying this! Shoichi, you're such a gullible dork, my god! Be careful with how much you put in there. It would be awkward if we were both walking around with, you know. Don't worry, I'll be mindful of it. Thanks. Alright, I need to get to chopping these. I'll make sure you cut as much of the stems out as you can. You only really eat the cap. Really? That sounds like a waste. With most mushrooms, the stem is very chewy and fibrous. Not very tasty, and the texture is kind of bad. Oh, yeah, wouldn't want that. I'll make sure to cut them out. Oh hey, your dough is looking pretty good. It's really round and kind of shiny. While we were talking, I continued to knead the dough as best I could. It took me a while, but it managed to all come together into a cohesive ball of dough, which I'm really proud of. The recipe says to let it rest for 30 minutes before I open it and fill it up. In the meantime, I'm going to start on the ragu since you already finished the chicken and the mushrooms. Sure, feel free to. Just tell me what to do next. Can you chop the onions, shallots, and garlic while I work on this? Happy to. I toss some butter and oil into the skillet, mixing in the mushrooms and making sure to saute them slowly. Mushrooms take a while to cook, or at least a regular supermarket variety. I don't know how long these take. Well, at least the good thing is that overcooking mushrooms is very difficult to do. I make sure to stir them constantly while adding a few more knobs of butter as I go to keep it from drying out. Once I think they look about done, I add in the shredded chicken, the minced garlic and shallots, some red wine vinegar and some balsamic vinegar, as well as salt and pepper. Wow, that's a lot of cream that goes into this recipe. Together with the Alfredo, we're probably going to have a heart attack from all this cream and butter. Here's hoping we won't die from it. Oh wow, that smells really good. Yeah, I'm supposed to cook it down until it gets thick and creamy. Oh, can you cut the bread into slices so it can toast in the oven? Sure, I'll be done with the squash in just a bit. Things have been going much smoother than I thought they would. Shoichi's been really well behaved, all things considered. I thought for sure he'd be trying to sneak weird things into the food, but he hasn't so much as a peep about it the whole time. This is Really nice. Cooking right next to him and working together. It's relaxing. Wow, this bread is a bit stale. Some people believe stale bread makes for better toast. And I think they're both the same, and if the bread gets too stale, then it just becomes unsalvageable. Why does it get stale in the first place? Like, how does that work? I don't know all the science behind it. For the most part, it just loses moisture as it ages, which causes it to become hard. By the way, a neat trick you can use to make bread good again is if it's only 1 or 2 days old, is to wet all of it just a little bit under a faucet and then put it in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. That actually works? Yeah, it rehydrates the bread and softens it up at the same time as it becomes warm. When you pull it out of the oven, it should be dry and steaming when you cut it. You'll just need to flip it around in the oven once or twice, but it definitely works. Huh. I could use it in the future then. We throw a lot of bread out in the house because some days Dad just doesn't feel like eating it. Yeah, it's a good way to get that steaming hot loaf of bread like if you just bought it from the baker, too. Man, that does sound good. Alright, I'm putting the slices in the oven now. Hopefully it doesn't burn. There's a timer right there on top of the table. Just use that. Oh, good idea. The ragu should be ready in a few minutes. Can you keep stirring this while I start working on the filling for the ravioli? How come I'm only in charge of prepping and stirring stuff? I want to actually do some cooking, too. Oh, you do? That's... Uh-oh. Come on, you're hogging all the fun parts. All the ingredients for the entree are already prepared. I can cook it while you stir. That's an idea. Great, I'll get to work on it. Wait, I didn't say I agreed to it. Let's see, it says here to cook the squash in a separate pan until it's soft. I can put that to boil on the side while I work on the rest. Huh, this Alfredo sauce thing doesn't sound very difficult. Yeah, just remember you need to cook it until it's a bit thick, since it'll be used as a filling. Can't be too runny in that situation. That's a fair point. Alrighty, I'll just cook the onions in the butter until they start getting golden. I've mostly used breast meat for the ragu. Since the raviolis are the main dish, I thought they'd go better with the thigh meat. Just make sure to remove any and all pieces of bone once you shred it, okay? Don't worry about me so much. I've got this. You have never given me any reason to believe you when you say that. In fact, you being so confident about it just scares me even more because I'm afraid you're going to mess up because you're not paying enough attention to what you're doing. Ugh, I suddenly feel like a rumbling feeling in the pit of my stomach, and it's not nice. Shoichi diligently stirs and works on his skillet. Since I'm trying to pay attention to my ragu, I can't really keep an eye on him while he does that. And I'll just pray nothing goes wrong. Hey, I have a technical question. Yeah? What is it? How do I know when the onion and butter are done? Wait, you're still just stirring onion and butter together? Yeah, it said here to stir until golden, but the butter kept turning browner, so I waited until it got golden. I look over to his skillet and... it's a mess. Dear God, it even smells weird. How did you manage to do that? It's way overcooked. You burned the butter. Just put this in the sink and start again. God, he's such an idiot. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!